Hello everyone, welcome to the first video for year 9. Today we are going to begin with some exercise that we are going to review for the test. So, today we are going to begin with this exercise where we can see a linear function. This linear function, as you can see, this problem is asking for the slope, the y-intercept. We have to determine the coordinates where are the cuts in x-axis and y-axis, and we have to check if the point 5, 0 is a solution of the equation. So to begin for this problem, so we can start, we need to remember that the main formula for a linear function should be y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So in order to find this, we have to solve for y here. So what are we going to do is to copy the equation, the linear function. We have to erase this in order to have a space. We have 4x minus y minus 5y equals 20. So we are going to try to make this y alone. As you can see, the first term here is not necessary, so we have to put it in the other side. What are we going to get? Minus 5y equals minus 4x plus 20. Now, as you can see, the main problem here is the sign. Here, the negative side in the beginning is not comfortable to work with. So, in order to change it, we are going to multiply everything times, we can multiply everything by minus 1. So everything will change the sign. Minus y is not going to be minus 5y, it's going to be plus 5 times y equals, this is going to change also, plus 4x, and this plus 20 is going to be minus 20. Now, in order to continue, the only thing that I need to do now is to divide everything by 5. Why? Because this number should not be here. As you can see, we have to solve for y in order to get the slope and the y-intercept. Now that we have to divide everything by 5, we are going to get y equals 4x minus 20 divided by 5. Now we have to divide this 4 and this 20 by 5. How can we proceed with that? Very easy. We have to distribute this 5. So we have 4 over 5x minus 20 over 5, which is going to be 4. That means that the main formula for the linear equation would be y equals 4 over 5x minus 4. So remember, in the formula it was in this shape. M is the slope, so that means that m is going to be 4 over 5, and the y-intercept is going to be minus 4. Now with all of this, we can say that we have solved the first one. For the second one, we have to determine the coordinates of the points where the graph cuts the x-axis and the y-axis. So, in order to make this, what are we going to do is the following. When we want to find the cuts, we have to, this is B. For the x cut, we have to make y equals 0. So, if y equals 0, what is going to be the result of x? We have y equals 4 over 5 x minus 4. But remember, y is going to be 0. So we have to replace the value instead of y just being 0. Now we have to solve for x. We have this 4, we'll go to the other side, equals 4 over 5x. Now this 5, remember, what is up here will go down dividing, and what is down here will go up multiplying. So we are going to have 4 times this 5 goes up, and this 4 will go down, and this will be equal to x. We can simplify the values, and now we have that x equals 5. So we have the coordinate. When x equals 0, the value of y is going to be, when the value of x equals 5, the value of y is going to be 0. This is the x cut. If I want to find the y cut, I will do the opposite. Instead of making y equals 0, I will make x equals 0. Now that x equals 0, we will copy the formula. Y equals 4 over 5x minus 4. But remember, x will be 0. So instead of writing x, I will write 0. 4 over 5 times 0, 0. So we have y equals minus 4. As you can see, we already got the answer. When x equals 0, y will be minus 4. Thankfully, with these 2 points, we are going to be able to graph right here. As you can see, we have 2 points. We have 5 and 0, which if I locate it in the graph, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 0 in y. And the second point, it will be 0 and minus 4. We have 0 on x, 1, 2, 3, 4 negative. So this is the other point. So we can join the points, and now we can see that we have the graph for the linear function. Now that we have the cuts and the linear function in the graph, we are going to check if the point 5 and 0, well, 5, 0 is a solution of the equation. What that means? That means that if we have the function that is y equals 4 over 5x minus 4 has to follow this point, it has to include this point that it was 5 and 0. So we have 5 and 0. So what are we going to do is to replace the values. Remember, this is going to be x and this is going to be y. So if I replace the values here, y is going to be 0. 4 over 5, we have x is going to be just 5 minus 4. We can simplify this, and we have 0 equals 4 minus 4, and 0 will be equal to 0. So as you can see, this is true. So we can say that yes, the point 5 and 0, the point 5 and 0, what it says here is a solution of the equation. Is a solution of the equation. Now, with this exercise, you can try to do the next one. We have this one. This will be just for you. Now, we are going to change the topic a little bit. Now we are going to do some exercises from the book. We have these ones, level 1 and level 2, where we have to change the subject of each formula to the variable in square brackets. Which means that, for example, in the first exercise, instead of having C alone, we have to have D alone. So, as you can see, in the first one, if I want to make D alone, if I want to solve for D, what I'm going to do is to send it to the other side. Now that we have that, what are we going to have is positive D plus C equals 90. But as you can see, I don't need this variable C, so I will send it to the other side. What are we going to have is 90 minus C, and this is going to be the answer. Remember, we want to make this variable, we have to solve it and put it alone. As you can see, when we have a subtraction, a negative number or a negative variable, we always have to send it with the opposite operation, in this case is going to be addition, or as you can see, a plus sign. The same happens when we have division or multiplication. Both are opposite operations. So as you can see, in this exercise, we have to solve for n. N should be alone. So what I'm going to do is that this 4, what is the operation that the 4 is doing to the n? Is dividing it. Even if you see it as a fraction, the operation here is division. So if here the operation is division, in the other side it will be multiplication. So we have 4 times m equals n. And because we have a property, we can say if 4m equals n, I can say that n equals 4m. In other words, if you have, for example, 5 equals x, I can say that x equals 5. The only thing I'm doing is changing the position, changing the order. Now, as you can see, we have the result, a satisfying result. What happened here? Here we have to solve for p. P is right here. But the problem is that p is inside a parenthesis, so we have to put this parenthesis away. We can do it, for example, just watching this fraction. This fraction represents a division. So these two will go up and this one will go down. In other words, these two that is dividing will go up multiplying. Remember, that's the opposite operation. So we have 2 times m, and this one will divide. Now what we have in the other side, we have parenthesis p plus q. But we can ignore the parentheses. When we don't have anything here, we can erase them. As you can see, we are almost done. Now, q, I will send it to the other side because I need p to be alone. So q will go with the other operation. So we have 2 times m minus q equals p. As you can see, I have the same property. I can change the places. And we are done. We already solved for p. Now, moving forward, we have more exercises like this. For example, here, a to a the variable that we have to put along will be m. Now if we solve for m, as you can see, we have this fraction. Remember, this kind of fractions represents a division. The 1 is multiplying everything, but the number 2 right here is dividing everything. So what I'm going to do is at first these 2, that is dividing everything, will multiply to the other side. So I'm going to have 2k. And the one right here, that is multiplying everything, will go down dividing. So we will have everything divided by 1. But as you can see, everything divided by 1 is just the same. Now, as you can see, what we have here, we have m times b squared. As I want the m to be alone, I don't need the b squared. So I see that the operation that the b squared is doing is multiplication. So I will send it to the other side, dividing. So we have 2k over b squared. That it will be equal to m. And again, I will change the places. M will be equal to 2k over b squared. And as you can see, we already have solved for m. For the next one, as you can see, we have m equal to a quarter multiplied by a plus 2b plus c. We want to make b alone. We have to solve for b. So the operation, remember that this fraction is doing is multiplicating everything by 1 and dividing everything by 4. So this 4 will go up multiplying for m, and this one will go down here dividing. And we have a plus 2b plus c. Now as you can see, we can erase the parentheses. And now we have two kinds of operations. We have additions for a and c, and for the 2 here we have multiplication. But before we can touch this, we have to move the a and the c. Remember PEMDAS? We have to work in the opposite side. We have this addition, we have to move it to the other side first. What are we going to have? For m minus a minus c. And as you can see, now that this term 2b is alone, what I can do is, okay, take away this number. This number is multiplying b. It will go to the other side to divide everything. Now, it will be for m minus a minus c. And if I want to divide everything, I will just put a fraction over 2. That will be equal to b. Now, as you can see, I use again the property. I will change places. So b will be equal to for m minus a minus c over 2. And we have solved for b. Now we have h. H, as you can see, we have to solve for b. Here I forgot. Here I forgot that we have b and t as well. So if I want to solve for b, I have to see first what are the operations that they are happening. First we have this fraction. Again, this fraction, this one is multiplying everything and this 2 is dividing everything. So I'm going to put it in the other side but with their opposite operations. So we have 2s. So we have 2s. This one will go down here, but it's the same. Equal to u plus b times t. Now, this t I have to get rid of first. So we have this t, we have to put it in the other side. What is the operation that the t is doing? The operation is multiplication. So it's going to divide everything to the other side. So we have 2s over t. Now, if you are paying attention, remember this one. The one is right here, but everything multiplied just by 1 is just the same. Now we have u plus b, but as you can see, we don't have anything outside the parentheses, so we can erase them. Now we can work here. If I want to be b alone, this u right here, I will put it in the other side. So we have 2s over t minus u equal b. Now we have b equal to s over t minus u. And we have solved for b. Now, as one of the last exercises, we are going to work in some formulas. We have this given formula, c equals to pi times r, where c is the circumference of a circle and r is the radius. Now we have to express r as the subject of the formula. That means that we have to solve for the radius. So, as you can see, these two numbers, because p is a number, remember, what they are doing to the r, to the radius, they are multiplying. So what I'm going to do is to pass them to the other side. What is the other operation, the opposite operation for a multiplication? Division. So as you can see, the radius will be the circumference over 2 times pi. Now, the question says this is the solution for A. For B, it says find the value of the radius. What is going to be the value of the radius if the circumference equals to 31.4? So, the radius, because I have found the formula, will be c over 2 times pi. But c, we have that the value of c, as you can see right here, will be 31.4. 31.4 over 2 times pi. If we use our calculator, it will be equal to 4.997. It will be approximately just 5. Okay, so the exercise for you is this one. We have solved multiple problems, and now is your turn. I hope you like the video, and if you got any questions, I am Mr. Urey. Feel free to comment, feel free to ask in class. I am for that. See you in the next video, see you in the next class.